Hey guys, it's Sam, and today I'm going to do some Vlogmas questions that are Christmassy questions, Vlogmas prompts. This was posted on Twitter by the Dallas Vlogs. I will link the post and everything down below for you guys to check out. And bless their heart, because I needed some Vlogmas topics and I wanted some like Christmassy stuff and I couldn't think of anything, and I was real struggle. I'm running on like super low bandwidth at this point. I've been working a lot of overtime. You're seeing me filming on a weeknight, which never happens because I just have no time. So it's a little hectic, but I wanted to talk Christmas and get in the Christmas spirit. I put on a Christmas lipstick. I was listening to Christmas music, getting ready. I'm in it. I'm in the zone. Number one is one word to describe yourself. The first word that pops in my head is ambitious. Slytherin AF. Number two is, what are you looking forward to doing this holiday season? I am really looking forward to going home for the holidays. I go home for Christmas like every year, and I'm taking a shorter trip this year because my current job does not allow a lot of vacation time and all of that kind of stuff. So that's a little like sad because I'm used to going home for like nearly 2 weeks because my last job had like a ton of vacation time. It was like the one perk. So I'm a little sad about that, but I'm really excited to go home for Christmas. I actually haven't even decorated my apartment for Christmas because of moving in and just being like kind of feeling crazy and not having a lot of time, and I'm so exhausted that I can't even think about decorating for Christmas, and I don't even have a Christmas tree, so I have to buy one. Like, it's a lot of stress. So I'm excited to go home because my mom goes full out for Christmas. Like, I think she's even having a snowman themed Christmas tree, so a Christmas tree that looks like a snowman. So I'm just ready to be immersed in the Christmas, in the nostalgia of my childhood home, and just like do the Christmas there. I'd be very depressed if I was staying here and it wasn't decorated, and like there'd be problems, but I get to go home and celebrate Christmas and eat like all of my traditional family food and all of that. I'm so excited. Number three, if someone wanted to understand you, what would they read, watch, and listen to? Watch would be Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Grey's Anatomy, and Dawson's Creek. I feel like those are three shows that have defined my entire life. Listen to would be Blink-182 because they're my favorite band in high school. I don't really listen to them much anymore, but I still have like a soft spot in my heart for them. Also probably Panic at the Disco. That defined my like early 20s, late teens. And if they wanna, I hope you enjoyed the puppy sneeze that you just got in the background because she's demanding my attention. And for current music, it would be Dorothy, Digital Daggers, and I've recently discovered Zayd Wolf. I'm not sure if that's how you say his name, but those are three bands that like currently fuel my soul a bit. And then read, I couldn't even necessarily like fully tell you. I mean, like the Night Circus, the Grisha trilogy, obviously, Uprooted, like all of my favorite books. I mean, I can't even like, there's a lot of things that I would have someone read to like fully understand me. Number one being the Night Circus. Sarah Jane, I'm waiting. On a scale from 1 to 10, how hard is it for someone to get under your skin? It depends. Have I eaten recently? Because if I haven't eaten recently and I'm hangry, then it's not hard at all. But on a typical day, I tend to keep it like fairly cool, but like if I'm gonna go off, I'm gonna go like way off. I have an Irish temper. What was your favorite book as a child? I don't remember. I read a lot as a kid, and I don't remember like a definitive book. I vaguely remember as a little kid that like Caterpillar book that everyone read, but that's me as like a child, and again, I don't once I started reading, I can't even pinpoint like what was my favorite. I don't remember because I read so much, and I'm not, still to this day, and I never was, a big rereader, so I didn't have a book that I like read over and over again, but I distinctly remember the Caterpillar book as a child, as like a little kid. Are you a restless sleeper? I used to have like intermittent insomnia, but I've been pretty good over the last few years, knock on wood, unless I'm going through an anxiety episode, and then I can fall asleep and stay asleep, but like getting to sleep and getting to bed is hard. But otherwise, when I'm asleep, I tend to stay asleep, unless I really have to pee, which since I'm drinking a lot of water and have been for a while, I usually have to pee like at least once in the middle of the night. It's so fun. Which element best represents you, earth, wind, fire, or water? I'm a fire sign. So I do think I'm more fire than anything. If someone would be like, give me an element that you're most like, I do think it's fire. But I think in the way that I used to be a little more like again, hot-tempered or something when I was younger, now I'm a little more of that like smoldering embers. We can really do a lot of metaphors with this. I think I'm fire. I'm also slightly cold to water though as well. I don't know what that means. I'm not really like, I don't know a lot about elemental things to know like what that means exactly, but I'm a fire sign, I'm a Leo. Do you like your cereal crunchy or soggy? Discuss. Okay, I have thoughts about this. I used to love cereal, as many of you may have heard on Twitter. I do believe I'm lactose intolerant now, but I used to have cold cereal with milk literally every day, sometimes twice a day. Like, it was a thing. And I would have cereal that was typically supposed to be like crunchy, like Rice Chex or Raisin Bran or something like that. But when I was younger, I used to let it get soggy, and I still like a soggy Rice Chex. And I would put sugar on it, which is just like ridiculous. I don't really do that as much now. I mean, I haven't had cold cereal in a long time, but I would like dump granulated sugar on my Rice Chex and let them get soggy, which doesn't take very long because Rice Chex get soggy pretty quick. So yeah, I also, wait, because that one I still like soggy, but now I don't so much like soggy cereal. So like Raisin Bran, or if I was gonna have Rice Chex or whatever, the same things I used to have, I prefer it crunchy. Now, my dad and I have a cereal that's not really a cereal that we eat. That's graham crackers. And again, I really can't eat this anymore because I'm lactose intolerant, I think. But graham crackers and milk, and you let it get soggy, and you also put sugar on it. It's ridiculous. It's not healthy. And so you're basically eating like mush. But it's so good. Like, I actually wanted it the other day, and I was like, you're not gonna buy a whole box of graham crackers and milk, which I have soy milk, so I guess I could do that. But and then like have a stomach, like, and dump sugar on it. This is nothing that you need to do. And it's his fault because he started doing it and then I started doing it as like a teenager even. I might have been a little littler kid, but yeah, so I still like that soggy cereal, but like that's not even supposed to happen. Like, graham crackers were not made for that purpose, but they're really good. And if you ever try it, let me know. But it doesn't necessarily look appetizing, but it is. I promise. What is your favorite scent? Now, is this like perfume or... Yeah, because right now my favorite perfume, like my signature scent, the Nirvana Black scent. I also really like, I don't know the brand, but it's like By the Fireside or something. It literally smells like a fire and like marshmallows, but like in a musky way. It's so good. It's more of like a unisex perfume. Both of those are more like, I like muskier type earthy scents. Stop. I like muskier type earthy scents, more leaning towards unisex, but not completely unisex, because I don't like a lot of the men's like clean smell, but I like the like musky, yeah, those kinds of scents I really enjoy. Favorite scents just in general out in the world, I like the distant smell of burning leaves, even though I know that that probably adds a lot of environmental harm to like the ozone and things, but Illinois allows leaf burning, and that's where I'm from, so smelling it in the distance is like so soothing. I also love the smell of, like, I'm just doing like seasonal scents, I guess, of like pine trees and stuff. I'm allergic to pine sap, so I can't have a real tree, but I like the balsam scent a lot. I actually today, at one of the places I was at today, they had Trader Joe's white pine soap and lotion. I like lotioned my hands up. Like, I love this scent. Talk about your name. Where does it come from and what does it mean? I was named after my paternal grandfather. He passed away shortly before I was born, but literally everyone was like, he would have loved you, you would have been his favorite, and you are a lot like him in a lot of ways. So I was always going to be Sam, whether I was going to be a boy or a girl. Sam was always going to be my name. What was your childhood bedroom like? So when I was little, it was like a bluish kind of color, and then my mom is a saint and also indulges my whims sometimes, and when I was kind of preteen maybe, I really wanted like a jungle themed bedroom, so she got my walls professionally painted, so they're like a tannish color and there's like gold foil, and then someone like hand drew a bunch of like hibiscus and like vines and stuff in some of the corners, and I also had like fake greenery around my door of my closet because I had like one of those long closets, so I had fake greenery there that had like jungle stuff in it for a long time. And then at some point I had, you know, the typical like Tiger Bop photos of like boy bands along my closet wall, which I eventually obviously tore down, and I had a Legolas poster on my door as a teen, because like, who didn't? Who was your favorite teacher growing up? I liked a lot of my teachers. I was pretty cool with most of my teachers. I think my favorite teacher that like sticks with me is, I think she was my second grade teacher. I want to say her name was like Mrs. Adams, but I have a bad memory for names, so I'm not sure. She was so nice, and I remember her being very soft-spoken, and she never yelled at us. And she was just like a really great teacher. But I also really liked my high school English teachers, all of them. I liked my high school French teacher, even though I only took French for like a year, but she was really cool. And yeah, I liked a lot of my science teachers too, except for my chem teacher. My chemistry teacher and I did not get along, like historically, get along very poorly. I'm not someone that says this, like he disliked me, like as a person, like he did not like me, which is rough because yeah, I never was like, oh, it's just because that teacher doesn't like me. Like he literally, like he didn't like me. I think he would have been very happy if I just never would have been there, which is, I wasn't doing anything bad. I just like mostly slept through his class. I was really good in other classes. Like I was honor roll, like I was a really good student, but him and I did not get along. But all my other teachers I tended to get along with. I wasn't really a problem child in high school or anything. What language do you wish that you spoke fluently? Probably Spanish, because it would be the most helpful, and I took 4 years of Spanish and I remember none of it, as most American teens do. But if I was gonna pick like a fun language, I think I would like to know French or like even Russian or something. But again, those aren't as helpful as just knowing Spanish. Talk about your most recent failure. What did you learn? What did I fail at recently? See, I don't really see a lot of things as failures. Here's the thing about me. As someone who's like a little older than maybe the median booktube population, I don't really consider a lot of things failures because it's always a learning experience. And again, this question is phrased as like, what did you learn from it? But there's not a lot of things that I feel like I fully failed at because there's a lot of factors going into it. There's things like other people had influence over maybe this failure or whatever. So it's hard to really think of something that I've failed at. I've failed lifts, I guess, recently. Months ago, like in May, I got back into squatting because I hadn't squatted in a while. Barbells, squats, you know, the exercise. And I hadn't done it in a while because I was like, I had this mental block and I was scared of it. And I loaded the same weight on that I'd done last. And my life flashed before my eyes because I messed up and my back like bowed and it was, ooh. So I learned from that is don't be an asshole and be a little more careful. And now I'm a lot more cognizant of like possible injuries because I've faced a few workout related injuries the last like year or so, but I never thought I'd be that stupid person who really fucked up on a lift, and I was. And I had a aching back for like months. It was... If you could learn a new skill, what would it be? I really wish I was good at hand lettering, and I'm gonna try. Maybe 2019 I'll learn a little bit more about it because Kayla Book of Doodles gave me a hand lettering book for my birthday that I haven't been able to break into, but I'm going to. So like hand lettering is like calligraphy and stuff in like bullet journals and just having like better handwriting in general. I also really want to change my signature because my signature is absolute garbage. It's garbage. So I want that to be nicer. So like handwriting, I think, is a skill that I would like to improve. What has been your favorite thing about 2018? So many things. So many things. The first thing that pops in my head is obviously meeting Sarah Jane of the Book Life and the whole trip to Orlando. That was awesome, mind-blowing, and that was just a great end to graduate school. So graduate school ending has also been one of my favorite things of 2018. Graduating and having a master's degree and getting a new job. And then I think the third biggest thing is like living alone has been a highlight of 2018. That's going to be something that's going to be talked about more in 2019, but the fact that I'm living alone, and that's something I've always wanted to do and didn't think I'd get the opportunity to. And now I am, is just really nice, and I'm gonna fully embrace that in 2019. But yeah, those are the big things. 2018 was like a pretty good year, like ups and downs, but like a lot of really big things happened in 2018. What does success look like to you? Success, I guess, to me looks like being busy, and that's probably why I'm always really busy. But just doing things that make you happy or happy enough. Like I think that a lot of people are like, you need to do what you love to really be successful and really be happy. And I think that there's a lot of ways that if you do that, you turn what you love into a job and it makes it so you're not happy anymore. So I don't necessarily believe all that. But doing a lot of things in life that make you happy and not burning out and not thriving on the burnout and thriving too much on the hustle. So again, you're busy, but you're not overly busy. You're engaged in what you're doing. You're happy with what you're doing. It's fulfilling to you. That is success for me. So being able to maintain a certain level of engagement in what I'm doing and be happy and be fulfilled by it and not drained by it, that's success. What is your favorite thing about winter? I love snow. I really do. I grew up in the Midwest. I'm used to a ton of snow, so I really enjoy it. But I really like Christmas and the winter holidays because most people do. Like as I said earlier, I love the smell of like balsam and trees and stuff, so that scent being around is really nice. But even though I do love the snow, I do get sick of the cold pretty quickly into the winter. I'm okay with, if it was snowing all the time, I'd be fine. It's when it gets bitter cold that I'm upset. What are your goals for 2019? I'm going to talk all about goals, both personal goals and like fitness related and whatever, and also book related and booktube related goals. Those are going to be 2 separate videos. So you're going to get all of my goals talk in completely separate videos in this, because that would make this way too long. Tally. That's right. There's a bunch of static because she was like scratching around, so now her ears are sticking up like this. Okay, what is something that terrifies you? I have anxiety, so a lot of things like mildly terrify me, but like as a abstract thing, I think I have a fear of sort of like complacency and almost like waking up years down the line and realizing like I'm really unhappy. So I actively do things at this point in my life to change that and be like, you can't just sit in like complacency. There's plenty of things like complacency and contentment are 2 different things. I just don't want to be like just living to live and just like just dealing, you know, like I want to be trying to achieve, you know, like the success that I talked about earlier. So I think in that like kind of meta abstract way, like that's something that I think is scary, like wasting my life and wasting time. Talk about 3 strengths that you possess. Okay, it's like a job interview. I think my biggest strength is my loyalty. We were talking about this at the office, like strengths of each of us as friends and stuff, and I think my loyalty is like a huge thing. It's something I really value, and I really value in other people as well, is just being loyal, but for good reason, you know, not just being like loyal because it's like, well, I'm loyal and I'm loyal to everyone. No, but like it's loyalty that's earned, but loyalty is a big thing with me, and I really like stick it out with people and am there through like really tough things. I know this is like so typical, but like I am a really fast learner when it comes to things. Like when I set my mind to it, I do it. So like that's kind of a twofold thing, but like again, I guess like my ambition or whatever, but like I stick to stuff and I stick it out and I do stuff and I learn things and I get through the hard things, and I just like had this ability to, if things are difficult, like grin and bear it, learn it, get through it, whatever the case may be. What is one thing you want to overcome or conquer? But it's funny that that's one of the questions, because my word for 2018, like not always, actually I just did it last year. What am I talking about? But last year I picked a word and it went in my bullet journal for 2018, and my word of 2018 was conquer, because I felt like 2018 was going to be a hard year in a lot of ways, and it was, and I was finishing grad school, and there's a lot of reasons I chose that word. So I really kind of feel like I'm going into 2019 having conquered a lot. I think the biggest thing that I always kind of come back to as conquering or overcoming is my anxiety. I'm constantly learning about it, and it morphs a lot and it changes, and things that used to work for it necessarily don't always, and I never quite get a beat on what exactly I'm going to react to, because sometimes those things change or whatever, and I've come a long way with my anxiety, but I know like you don't cure anxiety really, so it's always something that I feel like I have to circle back to at various points in my life, and I can go years without having to worry about it, months, weeks, whatever. I always have like low grade, like daily generalized anxiety, but like as far as like panic attacks and stuff, but I always do feel like it's something that I am coming back to and overcoming and conquering. What would you do if you knew you could not fail? I would probably move back to like the Chicago area, where I'm originally from. I wouldn't move back to my hometown, but I moved like probably to Chicago. If I couldn't fail, I'd move to Chicago and have a beautiful apartment. And I would have a private practice that specifically caters to oncology patients, most specifically young adults, so people in the 18 to 40 range. And that would be my specialization and my clients for the most part. And that would be my private practice. And that's what I would do. And that's what I hope to do. And I'd also like just be an expert in that field. This is basically what I hope for my future. These are some of my future goals. And the last question is favorite holiday dessert. And man, that's sort of tough, but I've discovered a new dessert. Like I'm trying to think of some other things. So I like a lot of holiday candy. Like I like the holiday like M&Ms that come out, and my mom always has like chocolate covered raisins, and I like a lot of like holiday cookies and stuff like that. But I recently, someone has blessed me. I think it's called a black bottom pie, and I had it at Thanksgiving. Someone made it. It's basically a pecan pie without pecans, because I'm allergic to pecans. You guys have learned about a lot of my allergies in this video if you didn't already know about them. But I'm allergic to tree nuts, so I've never had a pecan pie. And it's a pecan pie with all the ooey gooiness, but it's oatmeal instead, and it's like sort of crunchy. And this one, the reason it was called black bottom is it had chocolate ganache on the bottom, so it's like the pie crust, chocolate ganache, and then like the gooiness and the oatmeal, and then it was, you know, it's baked, and so it's like my mouth is watering, and it's like sort of crunchy on top. It is so good. So I am getting the recipe and I am making it for our family Christmas, because this was not it was a friend of a friend's house we went to for Thanksgiving. So I'm gonna make that because I'm not even that big of a pie person, and at Thanksgiving I had 4 slices. It's so good. I've never been allowed to have pecan pie, and now I can. I also really like white chocolate, hot chocolate a lot. They used to have it at Dunkin' Donuts, and I don't know if they do anymore. I think they have it at like Starbucks and stuff now, but I don't go to those places, so I don't really have it. I used to a lot, but that's another thing I really like. Delicious. But that pie, man, ooh, so good. So that is it for the Vlogmas questions. So comment below, let me know your thoughts on anything that I like revealed about myself, and if you want to answer any of those questions for yourself and let me know some tidbits about you, I would love to know. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see all of you guys soon. Bye.